Happy Monday. We have been sweating together for 3 weeks now. This is our third Monday together. So I hope that I hope you had a great weekend, and I am thrilled to get to sweat with you today with bodyweight training. So let's begin with our standard warm-up. So go ahead and stand up. We're gonna start with around the world. So shift all of your body weight to one foot. Give a little rotation of the ankle to the right, to the left, point flex, and then switch to the other leg. Rotation of the ankle, point flex, point flex. And even here at the beginning, as we're just starting to mobilize our joints, nice deep breaths is where it's at. All right, so step your feet together, knees together, big knee circles, circling to the right, to the left. I'll make this bigger. There we go. Big knee circles. Next, what we're gonna do is these skier arms. So inhale as arms overhead. Exhale as you swing the arms behind you, bend the hips, bend the knees. Inhale. 10 of these. All right, stand up, step your feet nice and wide, big hip circles. Big hip circles to the right, to the left, maybe some figure eights. Oh, something else, in addition to the surface that will support your body weight and a full water bottle, one of our cardio movements today is what is a minute of, I'm recommending stairs. I realize not everyone has access to a stairwell. And so if you don't have access to a full stairwell, then a single step, like if you have a step leading up to your front door, off of your back deck, your patio, anything like that, if you can go up and down on a single step, that's awesome. If somebody doesn't have any stairs anywhere that they have access to, my recommendation is a forward-backward hop with both of your feet together. So put some distance between your feet, forward to backward. All right, so these aren't little bunny hops. These aren't just like a little forward, backward. Really swing the arms forward and back, all right? And if you don't like hopping back, you can turn around. So you can make it all about hopping forward. Okay, that's not part of the warm-up, that's just a preview. All right, so swing the arms. Some self-hugs here. Arms over top, right over left, left over right. All right, come back to the wrists. Some little wrist circles. Right to left, left to right. Ooh, my wrist just cracked. That was fun. Big shoulder shrugs. So as you're warming and moving those joints, building some heat in the joints, the muscles, don't forget to build some heat in the lungs. Those deep breaths. And then come back to standing and just pay some special attention to your neck. Some right to left movement, lateral. I love that we get to do this at noon together, because noon is like just in time for me to start to feel stiff, because I'm a floor sitter, which is fun until I've been doing it for like 3 hours and I'm sitting in a little ball with my laptop propped up on my knees, and then by early afternoon I wonder why my back hurts. All right, and forward, backward with the neck, chin to the chest, chin to the sky. And then some rotations here. Turn your chin over, one shoulder then the other, one shoulder then the other. Okay, go ahead and lie down on your belly for some scorpions. So Arms out by your sides, pick up one foot, cross it over. Right to left, left to right. It should feel really nice. Just exploring that range of motion. What you're also doing here in these scorpions is that you're getting a nice stretch across the front of your shoulders. And so you've got your shoulders down toward the earth. And as you move and twist, nice stretch across the front of the shoulders here. All right, and while you're here on your belly, reach the arms forward, point the toes back. Let's get some Supermans, picking up the arms and legs. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip it over onto your back side. Scorpions on this side, right to left. Dynamic, moving trunk twists. So just a reminder, I don't think this is anybody's first Monday with me, but just in case we have any newcomers, the formatting, go ahead and keep moving. The formatting that we'll be moving through today is the same as the last 2 weeks. 2 circuits, each with 4 movements. And we do each circuit through 3 times in a row with no breaks, all right? So a minute per movement. So it winds up being 12 minutes of movement per circuit. So 12 minutes with the first circuit, we do it through 3 times, and then we take a break while I demo and you practice the movements of the second circuit, and then we do it all again. All right, so 12 minutes of work, a little bit of rest, 12 minutes of work, and then a little bit of stretching and breathing here at the end. So we move through this pretty quickly. So the movements of the, well, hold on. Let's go back to our warm-up. Go ahead and let's take some inchworm push-ups. And so step it back to downward facing dog. Paddle the feet, right, left, right, left. All right, now let's walk our hands back to meet our feet. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, fold over the legs, walk it forward to a plank. 1 push-up, chest touches the earth. Lead with the tailbone to walk it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold, walk it out to plank. There's your second push-up. Walk your hands back. We're going to do 5 of these. Inhale to reach. Exhale, fold. Walk it out. Push-up number 3. Walk it back. Walk it forward. Push-up number 4. Inhale. Exhale. Walk it out. There's push-up number 5. And now hold plank here for a moment. Press the palms into the earth. Lift that space between the shoulder blades. So we're really active in the upper back. Now also tuck the tailbone under. So we're active in the low belly here. Now you can hold here in plank. Or if you want to really start to explore activation in the shoulders, try some shoulder taps, right to left. Tap your right hand to right shoulder, left hand to left shoulder. Just a little added bonus work. Right, left. Keep it up. All right, let's walk our feet forward to meet our hands and step your feet really wide here. So a really low squat. So when I'm mobilizing into a squat, I like to hook my elbows just inside of my knees to press them nice and wide. Really get a stretch in the inner thighs. Do try to keep the heels down. All right. And now heel toe the feet to about hip distance apart. Let's take it through 10 nice and slow. We won't do it super slow. We'll do pause squats. And so a pause squat means you spend 2 seconds at the bottom of the squat. So it looks a little bit like this. We can do this all together. Go ahead and sink into a squat. 2, 1, stand up. Bottom of the squat. 2, 1, stand up. Let's do 8 more. Bottom of the squat. 2, 1, stand up. Down. 2, 1, up, down, 2, 1, 5 more, down, 2, 1, up, down, 2, 1, up, down, 2, 1, up, down, 2, 1, last one, down, 2, 1, stand up, shake the legs out a little bit. All right, let's do some lunges. So if you're on a mat, I didn't roll out a mat today because here I am on the carpet. It's all fine. So If you're on a mat, I like to start from the top of my mat and step back behind me. Lower the back knee to the earth. This is your lunge. Front knee is over the front ankle. Step it forward, step it back. Let's do 6 lunges, right, left, right, left. Check back in with your breath. All right. So let's talk about the movements of the first circuit. So I've said this before, but each circuit contains 4 movements: a cardio, a core, an upper body, and a lower body. Not necessarily in that order. I try to organize these in a way that makes sense and kind of gives you a little bit of a mix of muscular endurance and also cardio, because none of these movements is specifically isolated. There's a lot incorporated in many of them. So like, for example, stairs are a cardio movement, but you're also going to be incorporating your legs when you are running the stairs. So the first movement is the stairs. I already talked about that. And so if you have a stairwell, that's great. If you have access to 3 stairs in a row, some houses have little mini stairwells, that's great too, up and down. Some people have even just 1 step, and if you have just 1 step, it's up, down, and if you have 0 steps at all, big hops forward, back for a minute, okay? And so try to keep track of your own time, but also if you wind up running away and doing your stairs for 1 minute and 15 seconds, that's fine. Really, the name of the game here today is just moving your body and feeling good. So the first movement is stairs. Second movement is a bicycle crunch. And so after you're done with the stairs, you're gonna run back into your mat. You're gonna hit your bicycle crunches. Elbow to opposite knee, right, left. Try to tap your elbow to your knee. And we're going across the body here. Third movement is an elevated push-up on your supported surface. And so that supported surface that you found, maybe it's the edge of your couch, a chair, I've got a cooler, right? So we're starting with an elevated push-up. So lower the chest to the surface. I do want you to make contact between your chest and this surface, and then press it straight. The reason we use an elevated surface and not a knees down push-up is because with a knees down push-up, you can bend at the hips and use more of your legs for this movement. So I want this to be more about your upper body and maintaining tension in the core. Okay. Fourth movement. That was the third movement, is the elevated push-up. And the fourth movement is a squat to lunge, right, left. So this is a throwback to our first week. I want you to start in a little quarter squat. We're stepping it back, step it forward, back, forward. You can counterbalance with the arms. Another option too, if you have found a weight and you want to add a little extra challenge to it, this is a great opportunity to grab a water bottle, or 2, honestly, you can fill 2 water bottles and get double the weight. You got the arms into it, you're using the weight as a counterbalance. I promise, even a 4-pound water bottle is going to start to feel a little bit challenging and a little bit heavy by the end of a minute of movement. Okay, so we're going to start with stairs in 14 seconds at the top of the minute. So it's stairs, and then you're going to come right back into bicycle crunches. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bicycle crunches for a minute. Here we go. Right, left. Tap the elbow to opposite knee. This is just a reminder that you're in charge of your breaks, right? So identify, maybe create a little challenge for yourself. Tell yourself you'll do 10 reps of something, 20 reps of something. Take a little breather and get right back into it. I'm keeping track of the time. You keep track of an amount of movement that is challenging but doable for you. 20 seconds. After that, it's the elevated push-up. Transition right into that elevated push-up. So for me, and I recommend that you might try this too, push-ups can burn out fast. And so I'm doing a set of 5, and then a little break, and then another set of 5. Because you don't want to suffer too much. A little bit of suffering. By the way, if elevated push-ups of any kind are just too easy for you, go for a standard push-up, hands on the earth. 10 seconds, get your last couple reps in. And transition to that squat to lunge. Right, left, right, left. Stay low, even in that little quarter squat at the top. It's up to you whether you tap your knee to the earth or not. I know some of you might be on a hard surface, in which case, take care of that knee. You don't want to bash it against the ground. But for those of you that are on carpet, you might think about tapping that back knee to the earth. Get that extra benefit. Full range of motion. 18 seconds, stay with me. And then it's right into stairs. Top of the second round. Two, one, stairs. Three, two, one, bicycle crunches. Right, left, right, left. Push, push, push. You are in charge of how hard you work here. Doing great. Seconds, push, push, push. This is the second round of 3. Can you make this your best one yet? Can you go with no breaks? 7 seconds. Then it's push-ups. And switch. Right into those push-ups. Here we go. Little sets, quick breaks. Thirty seconds through, you're doing great. Stay with it. Shake the arms out. Quick sets. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Squat to lunges. 1 minute. Find a rhythm with your breath. Stay with this. See if you can just find something that's rhythmic and almost switch your mind off. Switch off that voice in your head that's like, oh, how many more do we have to go? How much time do I have? Find a rhythm that allows you to just grind and work. Find that equanimity, that balance. 18 more seconds. Two, 1. Last time doing stairs. You got this. Last set of bicycle crunches in 3, 2, 1. Right into it. Leave it all here. Remember, the lower and the straighter you get your leg, the more challenge you're putting on your abdominals, your core. Maintain that tension in the lower belly as you lower and straighten the legs. 15 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push-ups. Last time doing push-ups right here. Set of 5, little break, set of 5. Maybe it's a set of 3. Halfway through. Don't worry, we won't be doing more push-ups, and so you can leave it all here right now. I don't have any sneaky secret push-ups snuck in during the next circuit. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Right into those squat to lunges. Find your pace. Find that rhythm. You have a break after this. You're not going right back into the stairs. So maybe you can push a little bit harder than you otherwise would have. Maybe you can take a longer set. Maybe you can skip the break. "15 seconds. Three, two, and one. Little breather, nice job. Okay, so get a quick sip of water, and we're gonna get started with the second circuit once I open a window. Okay. So, movements of the second and final circuit. We're doing, for our first movement, is what I'm calling a burpee jump back. Now, don't get too scared because I have removed what I consider to be the hardest part of the burpee, and that's the part where you get all the way on the ground. And so this is all you need to do for a burpee jump back. A little hop, hands to the earth, hop it back, hop it forward, all right? So I'm gonna do 3. Maybe you can do 3 with me right here. Hands down, hop it back, hop it forward, hop, down, back, forward, hop, down, back, forward, hop. Okay, so those are gonna go pretty fast. That's your cardio. Second movement, you will want your support for. So this is the one where I want you to stand in front of it with your feet, your heels pointing back. Just be a couple inches in front of it because the first movement is you're going to squat, have a solid seat on that surface, and then with control, maybe you brace yourself with your hands, pick your legs up straight to a V kick. Stand all the way up, reach for the sky. So that's the base level. If you want to make this a little bit harder, then maybe you can do the V-sit without supporting yourself, all right? Without anchoring the hands. If you want to make it even harder yet, add your little weight, your water bottle, your 2 water bottles, and then after that V-sit, you're gonna press the water ball straight overhead. So it's a total body movement. Legs, core, arms, flows right into, each one flows into the next. Do this with control. Don't try to rush through this one too much. Allow each movement and each position to be distinct from one another. Okay, the third movement is gonna be a Russian twist. I like to do these on the ground. So Russian twist, I'll start with the first level with heels down. So the key with a Russian twist is to always maintain a flat, neutral, engaged low back, all right? It's really tempting to turn this into a little Russian scoop where we scoop out the belly and we're not engaged in the low back. And so one way to think about staying engaged and neutral is to squeeze the shoulder blades together, all right? So maintaining a lot of strength in the spine, we're rotating around that straight spine. You can make this more or less challenging by how far back you lean, all right? Less challenging, leaning further forward, being more seated. Another way to make this more challenging is to hover the legs. Now the same rule applies with your low back, all right? So if you're hovering the feet, still stay with that neutral spine. You're rotating the shoulders around the spine. I'm doing it with my water bottle. You can even do this unweighted, just with your fists, right, left, right, left. You should feel it down your side obliques as well as your strong low back core. Okay, and then the last movement, I'm gonna teach you something new. This is called break dancers. So Well, it starts in all fours in this tabletop position, but what you're doing first is you're picking the knees off the earth, all right? So the knees never touch the ground. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up one hand and then the opposite foot, and I kick it through, and just for fun, I can tap my toe to my hand and bring it back to that quadrupedal position without the knees down. Other side. So the idea here is that I'm rotating through with control, maintaining tension in the core and nice and strong. I'm not flinging myself through the movement and keeping my shoulders nice and safe. So you might try that movement a couple times. We're gonna do that for a minute. That's movement number 4. Okay, so just to recap one more time. Burpee jump back. Squat to V-sit to stand. The overhead press. Russian twists. Break dancers. We're gonna start. I'm gonna start my timer this time because my minute just came through. 1 second. All right, we're gonna start with the burpee jump backs. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 1 minute. Quick with the feet, quick with that hop. Fifteen seconds. Stay with it. 3, 2, and 1. Find that supportive surface right into that squat, V-sit, stand combo. As you stand all the way up, squeeze your glutes, tight core. Halfway through. Those of you who are on a much lower surface than a chair have probably figured out by now why I was saying that lower makes it harder. There's a big difference that a couple inches makes in this kind of movement. Okay, next is Russian twist. Have a seat. Find that nice, strong, stable spinal position and rotate around it. Another way to check in with your spine is to think about having your chest be shining toward the ceiling. If there was a spotlight shining down from the ceiling, you want to catch it right there on your chest between your collarbones. Stay with it, 15 seconds. Last movement is break dancers. In 3, 2, and 1. Flip over onto that 4 quadrupedal position. Pick up a hand, kick the foot through. Reset every time. Reset back to that center position with your shoulders over your wrists. Move through with control. When I say control, I mean if at any point I told you to freeze, you could freeze where you are, even if you're in the middle of kicking one foot towards your hand. That's how much control I want you to have. Got some good core work this circuit. 3, 2, and 1. Burpee jump backs. Start of round 2. Right into it. Recommit. Maybe do a quick set, little breather. Keep it up, 15 seconds. It'll be over before you know it. Stay with it. 2, 1. Find your supportive surface. Squat to V-sit to stand. Halfway through. Stay with it. 2, 1. Russian twist. Have a seat. Right, left, right, left. Be mindful of your spine. But while you're being mindful of your spine, also think about softening the shoulders down and away from the ears. Scan your body and notice where you can perhaps relax a little bit of tension, a little bit of gripping, so that you can direct that energy to where is going to serve you, where it does the most good. Also, don't forget to breathe. 15 seconds, you're doing great. You are over halfway through this whole circuit, right? You're over the hump. 2, 1. Break dancers, flip it over. Find that quadrupedal position, move with intention. You're getting the hang of this movement. By the way, if we have any shoulder injuries and this really aggravates that, flip it over onto your back and do another set of bicycle crunches. Russian twist, hurt your tailbone. What would I have you do? Yeah, maybe, Bernice, did you like the bicycle crunches? You might, bicycle crunches for everything today. Stay with it. 10 seconds. 2, 1. Back up to those burpee jump backs. This is your last time doing this movement. 4 minutes of work. Then you get to rest, you get to stretch, and you get to move on with your day. Stay with it. Ooh. 20 seconds. Less than that even. 10 seconds. 2, 1. Squat to V-sit to stands. Last time doing this movement. Less than 30 seconds, stay with it. Three, 2, 1. Russian twist. Or if this bugs the tailbone, bicycle crunches. Stay with it. It's these and then break dancers. And then you're done, done, done. Those of you who have your feet down like me, can you spend the next 20 seconds with your feet off the ground? Even for a few seconds, give yourself a little extra challenge. Oh, that's hard. Stay with it. Three, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Break dancers. Last minute movement. If you're moving quickly through these, can I challenge you to slow it down like you're moving through molasses? It doesn't make it easier. In fact, you could argue that it makes it harder. Three, 2, and 1. Nice job. All right, have a seat. Oh. Little breather, couple sips of water. Really nice work. Okay. So go ahead and we're going to use our vertical or our supportive surface to stretch today because we have it. So place your hands alongside that surface and then walk your knees, your hips back until you come into a nice stretch for the upper back here and the shoulders. So you'll notice, those of you who've ever been to a yoga class, this is creating the same upper body positioning as downward facing dog, but now you don't have to worry too much about what the hamstrings are doing, and you don't have to worry about putting a ton of weight on the wrists. This is just a really nice, yummy stretch for the upper back and shoulders. Great opportunity to slow the breath down, regulate the breathing, the heart rate. Pay particular attention to the exhales. Maybe even allow yourself a couple audible sighs on the exhale, a little. Ah, it can feel so good. Okay. All right, so now we're going to get into our hips here. So I'll show you a couple options. For those of you who feel more comfortable doing this on the floor, Start with a lunge, and then prop your upper body up with your hands, and then you get to choose your own adventure. Sometimes it feels really nice to heel toe the foot wide, getting into the inner thigh. Sometimes it feels nice to press the knee away, getting even more into the inner thigh and maybe even the outer hip. If you're not feeling much of a stretch and you want to deepen it a little bit, lower onto your forearms. If you're really liking how this feels in the hip flexor and you want this to be more hip flexor than, if you want it to be more left hip flexor than right hip, then you might start workshopping your splits. Those of you who are my splits people, you might walk the right foot forward after you've been here for a few breaths. This time that we are spending at home, away from our vehicular commutes and our social engagements, is a great opportunity to start exploring a mobility practice. The end of your workout is a really great time to do that because your muscles are already warm, and so you don't have to deal with the task of warming up and then stretching. So that's why these longer stretches at the end of a workout are particularly efficient and very fulfilling. That's why we do more static stretches at the end as opposed to dynamic ones. Okay, so go ahead and walk that right foot back. We're gonna stay on the floor. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Step into a lunge with your left foot, and then find a pretty similar stretch on this side as on the other side. Chances are, if you were tight or something was feeling particularly good on the other side, you'll feel that same thing on this side, on this leg. Now, that's not always the case because of habits we have or injuries that we've sustained or shapes that we put ourselves in on a regular basis. Sometimes we do have imbalances between our two sides in both flexibility and in strength, but that's where these asymmetrical stretches come in really handy. If you want to deepen this stretch, pull it into working on your splits. It's all good here. All right, so go ahead and slowly walk out of it. And then I want to close out with a little supported back bend. I usually do this at the beginning of my yoga classes, but this is a really great time to finish it out with a little bit of a back bend for the upper back, because I know you're about ready to go sit behind a laptop again. And so all that rounding, all that hunching could do with a little bit of counter stretching for the upper back. And so if you have done this before, then you don't need me to show you what to do, but if you've never done this before, then you've got a couple options. If you can locate a yoga block, a rolled up yoga mat, a rolled up towel, even a couch cushion will work. The mat that you're working out on, if you've been working out on a mat, is great. Just grab something that you can put beneath your shoulder blades that you can lie back over, and that will feel really nice, that allows your shoulders to roll toward the earth. And so basically you want to create some upward pressure on your shoulder blades from the floor, and you can customize this to yourself. If a yoga mat is not enough, then elevate it to something else, a pillow, something like that. I like to keep my legs bent. If it feels really nice for you to have your legs straight, that's fine. Do whatever feels great for your legs. We're going to be here for a couple minutes, and then I'll just bring us out of it. But really the idea here is that we want to create some opening across the chest, across the fronts of the shoulders, and get that nice forward pressure on the shoulder blades just to get the shoulders in a nice and healthy position for the rest of the day. And we'll have this be our resting pose, Shavasana. All right, and slowly begin to reawaken the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists, the ankles. Take that block or towel out from under you and just set it off to the side. And then reach the arms overhead toward the back, point the toes toward the front. Take a deep breath and a full body stretch from fingers to toes and everything in between. And on the exhale, roll over to one side. When you're ready, press the floor away and make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes when you get there. Lightly rest your hands on your knees. Notice the changes that you've brought about in your joints, your muscles, your breath, your mental state. All as the result of this time that you devoted to yourself, this self-care practice. It is never wasted time. On the next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Thank you for sweating with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.